Is quick commerce killing Kirana stores in India? As per the All India Consumer Product Distributors Federation, last year, 2 lakh Kirana store owners have shut down. Why? Change in consumer behavior from buying locally to buying online, and they cite quick commerce as the main reason for shutting down. In metro cities, 40% of shutdowns are attributable to quick commerce. In Tier 1 cities, it's 30%, and in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, it is 25%. These are the numbers. Let's hear the narrative from a store owner. Pratik Thakur is a store owner in Panvel, and he says, I've been running this shop for decades and I have seen everything change around me. There was a point I didn't even have the time to sit, let alone take a proper lunch break. From early morning to late night, there was a rush of customers. But now, on most days, I am just sitting here waiting for someone to walk in. The few customers we get are the loyal ones who have been living in the area for many years. Otherwise, people just don't step out anymore. They order everything on their fingertips. We all know there is some truth to the statement that quick commerce has impacted Kirana stores in India. But the question is, how large is the impact of quick commerce on Kirana stores? Let's get right into it. We'd like to give a shout out to Zerodha. The Breakdown YouTube channel is part of Zerodha's 01 Media Network, which provides us with the resources, information, insights to be able to make available to you this video with high quality and independently verified business journalism. Back to Breakdown. Let's begin with part 1 for today's video, which is the consumer insights from PWC. These consumer insights will help us understand how there is a behavior and buying shift from offline to online. For me, the most interesting takeaway is that when someone is buying for oneself, they are more likely to use online commerce as compared to if they are buying for someone else or buying as a group. As per PWC, the shift to online purchase is almost 53% for individual consumption versus 36% for family or group purchases. The next question that PWC has been able to answer is, why do customers like quick commerce so much? 42% agree that quick delivery for urgent needs is the main reason for picking quick commerce. The second reason is access to a wide variety of products across multiple categories. And it's well known that quick commerce may have started by providing us with very basic household essential items, but has expanded far beyond that into categories like fashion, apparel, beauty, personal care, home products, and so on and so forth. The third reason why customers are adopting quick commerce is that it is convenient for unplanned or last-minute purchases. This was the wedge that quick commerce was able to use to enter our lives, and from that wedge, it has expanded into a wide variety of products and services and become a key part of the commerce transactions at households, especially some like ours. The next insight from PWC is the preference for omni-channel. Now, omni-channel means you discover online, so you browse online, you understand the product, you understand the specifications, but you transact or buy offline. Now, the data on omni-channel purchase preference that PWC has collated revealed most of our quick commerce transactions tend to be home essentials, perishables, food that you are going to cook. So you would assume that there is a very strong preference for purchasing these items online. Here is the crazy part. According to the data from PWC, there is only 14% of respondents who prefer to purchase fresh produce online. 15% of people prefer to purchase home furniture online, which is to say that the preference for online buying of fresh produce is the same as the preference for online buying of furniture. This absolutely blew my mind because I was always under the impression that everyone would have no issues purchasing fresh produce online, because this is anyways what we are seeing with quick commerce. Across all categories, there is a strong preference for omni-channel purchase, and this is precisely the reason why most online-first consumer brands at some point launch their own offline stores, or they make their product available at an offline store. So that was part 1, some of the consumer insights from PWC. Let's move to part 2, which is the survey results from speaking to retailers, which has been collated by Kirana Club. Perception versus reality. According to Kirana Club and the Kirana owners and retailers whom they surveyed, 60% of retailers perceive quick commerce as a threat to their business. But when Kirana Club went and spent time with these business owners and asked them about their financial performance, the reality is that only 34% of them have been negatively or adversely impacted by quick commerce. You will be amazed to know that the three categories where retailers and Kirana owners most perceive the threat from quick commerce is in fashion, apparel, and beauty and personal care. And why is it that they perceive quick commerce to be a threat in fashion, apparel, beauty, and personal care? Number one is these three categories are much higher margin. So if they lose out on any of this business, it adversely impacts their profit margin. The next one is that these categories is where you can have differentiation in your inventory and therefore attract footfall. For example, at a sari store, they may have a certain set of colors, a certain set of designs that you walking past would want to purchase and may have not been able to find online. Therefore, you would come to the store. The third reason is that these are typically categories where the seller has somewhat of control over you because these are consultative or advisory-led sales. So let's say you're going and purchasing a face wash for the first time. You would go and ask the shopkeeper, which face wash should I purchase? And because these products are higher margin, advisory-led, and drive footfall, the retail shop owners are most worried about the threat of quick commerce here. And it is not just the incumbent horizontal quick commerce players like Blinkit, Zepto, and Instamart. There are also vertical focused quick commerce players who are emerging. There are a few unannounced beauty and personal care focused quick commerce companies, baby products focused quick com companies, and there are also beauty and personal care and fashion focused quick commerce companies. And this is why the Kirana store owners and the shop owners are feeling the heat. Now let us come to the third and most important part of today's breakdown. How are the Kirana store owners fighting back and who is helping them? So if you're a Star Wars fan like me, you would know there is the Empire versus the Rebels, and therefore today quick commerce is at the junction of the return of the Jedi. There are a set of startups which we'll cover in a few minutes that are helping the Kirana store owner, the Rebel, fight back against the Empire, which is the quick commerce platforms. And even before these startups came, Kirana store owners are not just going to let their business die. They have been using two tools in their arsenal: creativity and jugaad, to continue to grow their business and thrive in the face of quick commerce competition. They are now using WhatsApp to actively market to their customer base. They're offering longer credit periods to their customers to convince them to buy. For any of you whose parents or family members run a Kirana store, you would know that a typical Kirana store extends 15 to 30 days of credit to the customer and allows the loyal customers to settle their account at the end of the month. Kirana Club went and got an interesting quote about this phenomenon from one of their users. And this Kirana owner, who has a food store in Bangalore, said, "I give loans and credit to my customer like before, but it has increased now. I used to earlier give around 10 to 12,000 rupees of credit, but I have now increased it to 30,000 rupees of credit for customers." So in the face of competition, Kirana store owners are not accepting defeat. They are also innovating to be able to cater to emerging or changing customer demand. Let's go one layer deeper into this and actually see what are some more examples of Kirana store owners fighting back by taking control. The top 5 customer engagement strategies that are being used is personalization, stocking unique inventory which is not available in quick commerce, offering competitive prices, flexible returns, and being polite. But nothing here really stands out, right? But what is interesting, what is unique, is the marketing activities that these Kirana store owners are undertaking. They are offering discounts, they are using social media for promotions, they are partnering with local businesses to run local promotions, and they are sending personalized messages. There's a clear trend line in India of small business owners like retailers and Kirana store owners embracing digital marketing. The challenge that they face, however, unlike a larger organization, is they do not have enough of a budget to hire a full-time resource or an agency to do marketing for them. Even a small shop can do a lot of digital marketing like SEO, SEM, performance, Google review replies, push notifications, loyalty, and retention marketing. And therefore, India is starting to see a crop of startups emerge that are providing AI-led marketing services to these startups. because they use AI to run campaigns, to answer customer queries, to reply to Google reviews, generate the creatives and run the life cycle campaign, the cost of providing these marketing services to the business owners is much lower than what an agency with physical marketers would charge them. And an example of this is a company that I had invested into back in 2022 called EasoBooks. Easo had started out as a POS billing business focused on restaurants and retail shop owners. But as of last year, it has found immense traction of product market fit in providing an AI-enabled marketing solution for the same business owners. And you will see a lot more activity in this AI cross-marketing space, especially for Indian small business owners. Now, whenever I mention quick commerce, Kirana store owners, competition, the first thing I hear from a bunch of people is ONDC is the answer. So is ONDC the answer? Yes and no. Why yes? Because there is a huge government push to allow small business owners to sign up, to register online and sell their goods online. We had covered this in a previous breakdown on ONDC. But the PWC and Kirana Club report also suggests the answer for ONDC is no. As per them, only 4% of the business owners they surveyed are aware of ONDC and only 1% of them is accepting orders through ONDC. However, before you write ONDC off, I want to tell you about one startup that is helping small business owners grow their business online and offline, and it uses ONDC. And this is Kiko Live. What I really love about Kiko Live is that on their website, they have a live counter for the number of orders that they are fulfilling for their retail partners. So what Kiko Live helps the customers do is to migrate from WhatsApp to WhatsApp for Business, create auto responses, use an AI generator to add their catalog onto ONDC, and provides third-party logistics integrations to be able to deliver the order from the retail store owner to the customer. Alok has obviously clarified that Kiko focuses on the 5% of sellers who are serious about growing their business offline. So they charge approximately a 5% commission on orders plus a monthly subscription fee. But because of Kiko Live, 8.4 lakh orders have been delivered through the ONDC and other networks from store owners to the end customers. But Kiko Live is not alone. There is another company called Kirana Pro, which is helping Kirana store owners fight back against the quick commerce incumbents. Kirana Pro was founded in 2024 by Deepak Ravendran. Deepak's motivation for starting Kirana Pro is that his own grandfather was a Kirana store owner. Kirana Pro is focused on tier 2 and tier 3 cities like Thrissur, where he is enabling Kirana store owners to accept digital orders and make a delivery in 25 to 30 minutes. And I spoke to Deepak a few weeks ago in preparation for today's breakdown. What he told me is that most Kirana store owners have the intent to deliver fast and to deliver online, but lack the logistics, leads, and the data to be able to do this, which is the problem statement that he looks to solve with Kirana Pro. And they have a concept of something called a bright store, where you as a Kirana store owner can partner with Kirana Pro during your off hours to make your shop into a dark store for picking and dropping goods to the customer. This is especially useful for late nights and early mornings when some Kirana stores may be shut, but there will be local demand for products. So the way Kirana Pro works is you can on WhatsApp explain to the Kirana Pro AI agent what is it that you are cooking, and it will generate a shopping list which can then be fulfilled from the local Kirana store. Now the Kirana Pro insight of Kirana store to dark store is also confirmed in the PWC report, where they say 21% of retailers whom they surveyed are planning to operate a dark store in the next 18 to 24 months. Now before we go to the truth bomb at the end of today's breakdown, I want to take a few minutes to tell you about an important thing, which is the anti-Zepto thesis. And in this report, there's a section which says, limited assortment may turn out to be deal breaker for some consumers when accessing quick commerce. And this exact insight is the anti-Zepto thesis. So to understand this anti-Zepto thesis, we need to look at Amazon. Almost 2/3 of sales that happen on Amazon are from third-party sellers. Now these goods may be stored at the merchant's own warehouse or may be stored in an Amazon affiliated warehouse where Amazon offers a service called Fulfilled by Amazon, where Amazon ensures that the goods are picked up from the merchant warehouse and delivered to the customer on time, high quality, with all of the payments and customer experience managed by Amazon. Now that is what Amazon's 3P or third party model is. But when you look at what quick commerce is today, quick commerce is entirely 1P or first party. And by the way, this 3P quick commerce model is exactly what Flipkart is following with its quick commerce business called Flipkart Minutes. It is already delivering part of the order from its own dark store and part of the order from neighboring Kirana stores or supermarkets that have partnered with Flipkart on the Minutes business. The beauty of doing 3P in quick commerce is that you can stock the high volume, high sellout rate SKUs in a first party warehouse and therefore get very good return on capital employed. You can outsource the stocking and the inventory of lower velocity or higher value SKUs to a third party location, which could be a Kirana store or a retail store, which don't adversely impact your margin. And there'll also be a set of SKUs which are in very low demand that can be outsourced to a third party. And therefore, the future of quick commerce is third party, not first party. And this is the anti-Zepto thesis. What is of course very important, and you can see this in Flipkart Minutes and Kirana Pro, is that the customer experience cannot be compromised by this third party model. The logistics still needs to be done within 30 minutes or less, along with the ability to track. The customer, you and I, do not care whether the goods are coming from a dark store or from a Kirana store, as long as we can make the payment, track the delivery, and have the delivery reliably reach us in 15 to 30 minutes. Now, in the past, this Kirana shop to customer model has been tried by Zepto when it was called Kirana Cart. It was tried by Dunzo in its earlier days, but these attempts were not successful. And remember that this anti-Zepto thesis or quick commerce needing to go third party, it's not a nice to have, it's a must have. Quick commerce is moving to 25,000 plus SKUs available in under 30 minutes. And to go from 25,000 to beyond, they will have to begin partnering with local stores. At the start of today's breakdown, we had said, is quick commerce killing Kirana stores? Now here's the truth bomb. How overstated is this impact of quick commerce on Kirana stores in India? We'll answer this in two parts. We'll look at macro data and then we'll look at base rates. Number one, when you look at macro data, as of today, quick commerce is less than 1% of general trade. In the next 5 years, if quick commerce were to even 6x, which is aggressive, quick commerce would be less than 5% of general trade. And this is exactly why I tell a lot of my friends who consume online content that quick commerce has captured a lot of the mind share in retail, but it is yet to capture the wallet share in retail. And by the way, e-commerce is now a 20 plus year old story globally and a 15 plus year old story in India. We are still scratching the surface of online penetration in retail, and therefore anyone who says that quick commerce is killing Kirana stores has not looked at the macro data. The next point I'd like to highlight is base rate fallacy. At the start of today's breakdown, I told you that according to the All India Consumer Product Distributor Federation, 2 lakh Kirana store owners shut down in 2024. What I did not tell you is that India has 130 lakh Kirana store owners. And that means approximately 1.5% of Kirana store owners shut their shop last year. Remember that a Kirana store can shut down for multiple reasons. For example, generational transition may not be successful. The children may not want to take on the Kirana store from the father because one is not looking at the base rate, which is that 3 to 4% of businesses will shut down every year. And then of course you will have new businesses emerge on top of that. I think anyone who goes out saying that quick commerce is killing Kirana stores is not only unaware of macro data, but they are completely misinformed about base rates, and they have fallen prey to something called the base rate fallacy. And by the way, Kirana store owners are not idiots, they are not helpless, they are true entrepreneurs, and they are trying to help themselves, like we saw in today's breakdown. So the message that we'd like to send out with today's breakdown is that perception and reality can often be at odds with each other. It is not always true that something that has mind share will get wallet share immediately. Whenever you hear about statistics, please always ask for a base rate so that you don't fall prey to the base rate fallacy. That's all for today's breakdown. We hope you enjoyed today's video. This was a follow-up to our earlier breakdown on quick commerce. We'd also love to hear from you in the comments on how we can do better and what else can we cover at breakdown. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye-bye.